Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, it's not the end of the road, folks. It's only one game. It's only one game. We've been here before. No panic. Do not panic. This is your Tampa Bay Lightning. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show. As we mourn an opening game loss for the second or the third time in this postseason. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. Nick Geddes from Outkick.com is joining me here this morning, and it's a little repeat of history that we've seen already in these playoffs. And actually, after game one, I'm kind of encouraged. You know, this was a 5-0 loss to Toronto, a 6-2 loss to the Rangers. You won the game one against the Panthers, but you come back in foreign territory at altitude for the first time in a while. And, Vasilevsky is not at his best, and you lose in overtime. I'm encouraged, to be quite honest with you. I think the Lightning will certainly come back and clearly the Avalanche are a very talented team, but there's a lot of hockey left in this one. I'm not discouraged in one bit. Are you?
No, and good morning to you as well. Not discouraged at all. There's some Lightning fans who I think they get a little bit worried, I think, for whatever reason.
No, they panic.
They panic.
They jump off the bandwagon.
Relax.
Yes, relax.
It's the best term that I can use right now for you. If you haven't learned anything about your Lightning team, they're never out of it. As last night is a great example when we all thought they were kind of out of it.
Yep.
And then before you knew it, the game was tied. Right?
Lightning strikes.
And they did push. So it's one game. The Lightning lost in 2004 in game one. They lost in 2020 in game one in the Stanley Cup. This is nothing new. Not uncharted territory. It'll be fine.
And the other thing that kind of gives me pause, and I think also kind of underscores what the Lightning are doing. There's a lot in this game of hockey that has to do with puck luck. You get bad bounces. It's ice. It's a hard rubber thing, puck. You got guys skating at incredible speeds. Their luck can play a very big part in this. And for the Lightning to have been consistent as they have been in winning that certain games, an overtime game against Toronto in game 6, did that go, everything go your way? No, but just one bad bounce and you're gone. You're done. And yet they've persevered and continued to win 11 straight playoff series. I mean, it's amazing what they've done. I thought last night Vasilevsky had a couple of goals that I don't, you could call them soft if you want. He got a couple of bad bounces to me. It got through him. The one that laid on the back of his pads and then went in. No big deal. Now were the Lightning outchanced early on? Yes, they were outchanced 10-3 in the first period, and they're down 3-1. That's a pretty big hole to dig, but yet they came back and got it back to even. So, and that's what the Lightning do. And they had a great opportunity in the first part of the overtime after they killed off the penalty. I thought they were going to score right there. I really did. Darcy Kemper was on his back, and I think even in that moment, I was saying, shoot the puck, even from a bad angle. I'm like, shoot the puck. When he was down on his back. And that to me was the biggest flaw in the Lightning's game last night, was they did not get enough shot volume on Darcy Kemper. He looked shaky. He's not that good. You got to get more shots than 23. I know their shot attempts were 60. They were out in the game, but even outshot in shot attempts as well, 73-60. So it's got to be more for the Lightning. I don't think the Avs are too fast for them. I don't think they're too talented for them. I clearly don't think that they have a goaltender advantage. They don't have a coaching advantage. So in a lot of ways, I'm encouraged by this game.
I don't think the Lightning played anywhere near their best hockey.
No.
I don't think the Avalanche played anywhere near their best hockey. And I don't think so. I really don't. And at the same time, I still think the Avalanche controlled the play for most of it. If you go look at the analytics, everything tells you the Avalanche should have won that game and
Right.
deserved to win that game.
Absolutely.
Nathan McKinnon had 13 shots last night. So clearly he's a threat to score anytime he's on the ice. I think we learned that yesterday, by the way.
Yeah.
He can fly.
Yep.
Kel McCarr can fly.
Yes, he can.
They're a very fast team. And I think that's kind of where the Lightning got problems was their blue line, I thought, backed up way too much.
Yeah, they gave him too much respect.
Way too much. And other teams, maybe they're going to the outside behind the net. The Avalanche, if you give them that space, they're turning into the slot. And that's how they're getting those grade A scoring chances. Because if you look at the little heat meter, which shows you the high scoring chances, there was so much red high scoring chances that were right in front of Vasilevsky last night.
Yeah, they definitely gave up too many chances. And Vasi made some great saves. I mean, he did have the two softies, but
I thought he settled in after.
Yeah, thought he settled in really, really well. So I'm encouraged. I mean, Lightning fans were way more discouraged after the first two games against Toronto and the Rangers. They've been here before. There's no panic in their game. And if there's one thing that the Lightning know how to do, it's adjust. And they'll go back and they'll look at this film. They've got 2 days of practice to be able to kind of solve it and figure it out. So that's, obviously Colorado does too, but this is something that we've seen the Lightning do time and time again against bigger or faster teams, I should say, faster teams, highly skilled teams, and then they tend to lock it down. All you're looking for is a split in Colorado. They still have a great opportunity to get that on Saturday. And again, you got to get used to the altitude. It was Braden Point's first game in 31. I didn't think he was spectacular. I didn't notice him as much as I noticed McKinnon and McCarr. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it took him a few shifts. I mean, his first shift, he had a really bad turnover, which I believe was the one that turned into the goal. I think it turned into the Landeskog goal was the turnover on the other end. So you could tell right then it's 31 days.
Yeah,
it's 31 days. I mean, and he has an injury that he probably isn't as fully healed as he would like. I thought, though, in the third period, as he got more comfortable, I saw him kind of weaving in through lanes again.
Right.
You obviously saw him in the power play, sitting in the middle. I liked him a lot there, more so than I saw with Corey Perry in the previous rounds. So, yeah, I think game 2 you're going to get a much better Braden Point. But to your point, no pun intended. Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar much more noticeable on the ice, and like I said yesterday, if you haven't watched those games, I think you understand now why they're world-class players and why they're here. This is to me a meeting, and it doesn't always end up this way. In fact, most of the time it doesn't. This is a meeting of the 2 best teams in the National Hockey League, and I don't think anybody's going to debate that.
Yeah, and as I watch the NBA Finals, and they'll play again tonight, I said this yesterday. Whoever wins that, it's going to be a very ordinary team. They're not going to be remembered as one of the great teams.
Probably,
yeah. Whoever wins this series, I think it will go down as one of the. If the Avs win it, they could be on the brink of something special. Because I'm not saying that's an old team, and that team is really, really good. It's been good for a while.
Yeah.
It's kind of gone through the growing pains that the Lightning have gone through. I think their time. I think they're more ready than anybody else to assume the mantle. They're a very, very good team. And if they do find somebody who's exceptional in goal, they're going to be extremely difficult. But I still think the Lightning have I don't even say a puncher's chance. They have a very good chance to win this. I really do. I think based on what I saw in game 1, I don't think the Lightning are overmatched. The analytics went their way. I get it, all that. I just think I trust their adjustment. I trust their will. I trust their lack of anxiety. They're not going to panic. And they know what the job ahead of them is. Even if they don't get game 2, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to go in this series. I didn't see anything last night that told me the Lightning are really overmatched. Did not. And some really bad penalties too. You throw in the 5-on-3 that ends up in a goal, whether it was offsides or not. That's a ticky-tack call. To give a 5-on-3 in that situation, I think is complete bullshit.
Well,
number one bullshit.
My most problem with it was the ref wasn't going to call it anything. You saw how delayed it was, and then when the Lightning touched the puck, then magically the arm went up. Then it's like he's like, oh, I guess I got to call it now. The Lightning touched it.
Well, I get as I think it was Ferraro who said that once the Lightning got possession of the puck, the refs felt like they didn't want to give the Lightning an advantage in that situation, and there is advantage, disadvantage. I get that. So you're telling me if Cirelli just stayed on the ice, there would have been a call?
I guess. Again, I don't. I haven't read the NHL rulebook from start to finish, and I'm not going to anytime soon. So There's probably some big hockey aficionado out there that'll tell me that I'm wrong and why, and that's great. But from the bird's eye view, I didn't understand it.
Yeah. That to me, historically speaking, to get a 5-on-3, there needs to be some type of bodily dismemberment.
Yeah,
it's got to be more than that.
When it happens, though, you go 5-on-3. It's like we all kind of said, yeah, they're
scoring.
For like a minute 35. Yeah,
I think it was.
I think all collectively were like, yeah, they're scoring here.
Of course they are.
I mean, and the Lightning held as much as they could, but you can't touch the puck. And you see how fast they move the puck in the zone. Like the Lightning, they move the puck fast, but they're all kind of stationary, right? Colorado's moving. They're moving constantly in the zone. Yeah. I mean, that is just, I don't know how you cover that.
Yeah. And especially when they're moving their feet. When McKinnon starts moving his feet and dancing, I just get nervous. I just get nervous. I'm like, I do. And he's got the puck moving back and forth. I'm like, what's going on there? Like, stop that. You're making me nervous. So I agree. And our power play, the Lightning power play is now 0 for its last 9. It was 0 for 3 last night and did not look good in any of them.
The second power play, I think, was their worst power play
since
the Toronto series.
That was terrible. I don't think they had any zone time at all.
And when the second unit gets out there, I've resigned fact that the power play is over.
Yeah.
And fortunately, it's the way I feel.
That's so mean. They're so mean.
You got to give it. You want blunt honesty, or do you want sugarcoating? The second power play unit stinks for the Lightning.
You guys got to be better, much better. All right, so let's get into some of the play-by-play from this one. What do you got? What do you got queued up here? What are we going with?
Do you want to?
We got video here on the stream today.
Wow. We'll see how this goes.
Wow.
So brace with us.
We're breaking new ground here.
You got to test. You got
to test the waters.
You got to test the waters. I have the Lightning goals on video.
We're trying to be better. We got to be better. Every day we're trying to get better.
I have the Avalanche just audio. I have the Lightning goals sound. So do you want to start with the Avs? Do you want to go in chronological?
Sure, let's go in chronological order as the game unfolds early on. The Lightning are on their heels. There's no question about that. They were outchanced in the first 10-3, and you kind of felt a little bit of the avalanche, if you will, snowball rolling downhill.
Here's Bowen Byram over the line for Rantanen. Rantanen shot! Scores!
That place was electric last night. Absolutely electric. It was, and that was the one that kind of snuck through Vasi on that one.
It's got to be frustrating when you see the puck just kind of sitting in the white and it didn't actually touch the net. Yeah. Those are the worst to let.
Yeah.
I mean,
and to me, those are just kind of, kind of bad bounces. It didn't, he didn't clutch it as well as he could, and it gets behind him. It's not the end of the world.
It's not.
It happens.
Again, I look at this picture right here when he's coming in here, when Rantanen's in here. You have Cirelli that's kind of backing off of him.
Right.
And then you have McDonough and Chernak. McDonough's looking the other way, and Chernak's here, and they both just back up so much.
Yeah.
And I understand Vasilevsky's got to have that, but you got a guy like Ranson, and that was their leading point getter this year.
Yeah.
I think you need to converge on and move up a little bit because you had the numbers right here.
I think the Lightning are going to be much more forceful at the blue line. I think the part of that is getting used to the speed of Colorado. Yeah. Nobody wants to have happen what happened to Ekblad. And when Kucherov undressed him at the blue line, that's a hockey player's worst nightmare. So your number one defense for that is back up and just play position hockey. But when you do that, sometimes you're giving too much time and space, and that's what happens. So it's 1-0 Colorado, and the onslaught continues in the first.
And it's kept in. Here's Machushkin. Scores!
Well, those people paid $900 for upper level tickets. They were going to get their shouts in, no doubt about it.
Their biggest asset is their team speed, and you've seen it here early on. The constant pressure, turning pucks over, an errant pass gets back the other way. The battle down low one here. A turnover by Hedman on that pass because a great pinch on the blue line, and another one past Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky has been razor tight. 8 of the last 11 games, he's allowed 1 or less. Here, the Avs in under 10 minutes have 2 early on. That one, a little deflection off the defender, and Vasilevsky thinks it's going glove side. The Chushkin shots get deflected and goes 5-hole.
Yeah, I mean, it's a deflection. There's nothing he's going to be able to do about it. But the announcer is spot on. I mean, what produced that goal was the pinching of the defenseman, the aggressive play, and the Lightning have got to do a better job of getting it out of the zone, controlling it, winning the puck, and getting it out of its zone. They were very sloppy in their clearing, not icing attempts, but clearing attempts to get it out of the zone and relieve the pressure. And they didn't exit the zone very well either. Once they got control, they've got to be in control of the puck and exit the zone and present some pressure of their own. So that made it 2-0. Our next goal is the Lightning come back and make it 2-1. Which goal is this? This is
it's the Nick Paul goal.
Yeah.
I don't know what I've done to myself here, but I have them all three here, and now I can't even recall. I'm trying to squint so hard to find out which one is which now.
Just go ahead and hit it.
Which is not the most ideal thing. Again, this is
now we need to label them. See, that's how that's
we're learning. This is day one of this. This is uncharted.
Here's one of the Lightning goals.
Here's one of the Lightning goals. Yeah. I think. Let me squint a little bit.
Just click it for God's sakes.
I just want it to be right.
Just click it for God's sakes.
I think this is it. Let's see.
Okay.
We're gonna find out here.
Are we?
Yeah.
Good show.
And it's rolled in, and here is Nick Paul.
A little bit more volume.
Scores! Paul has got the Lightning on the board.
All right, nice play. Nice play by Nick Paul. Really just,
great example of how do you get this crowd out of the game. It's this line of Braden Point getting back in the position with Colton. He makes the play at the offensive line, but how about this bounce? It just sort of dies. And you can see Johnson got caught flat-footed, didn't react to it. Paul does a heck of a job, and that's a split-second decision by Darcy Kemper. Instead of going out for that bouncing puck, he stayed in. He ends up backing himself up, and how about Paul? One hand on his stick, the last second just reaches around and able to chip that one by.
Just a great individual play by Nick Paul there, and a great example of aggressiveness turning into a goal. And Darcy Kemper, not an outstanding effort on his part right there. That's why the Lightning just got to get. I feel more confident. They get pressure on this guy, they're going to score. He's pretty ordinary.
Yeah, and he hadn't played in 15 days.
Exactly.
Going into this game, and you saw the numbers, the .894 save percentage. That's horrendous.
Yeah,
that's horrendous for the playoffs. So, he's shown flashes of brilliance this year, but obviously he's beatable. He went for, I don't know if he tried to go for the poke there, or he just kind of, he overexposed himself and kind of I guess a fluky little bounce, but you need those to go your way. It was like the only one that went the Lightning's way last night. And there you go. But credit Nick Paul, by the way, for winning that race.
Yeah. Very, very nice job by him. And they get the Lightning on the board, get a little bit more jump in your step. And I think it was at this point, the Lightning started to even up the game a little bit. They seemed to find themselves a little bit because I thought they owned the second period as well. All right, what do we got next? Just should be the 3-1 goal.
This should be the Palat goal. As I make sure our sound's good before I play here.
Yes. And it's after the
shot blocked by McDonough. And again, that leading shot blocker starts it the other way for Palat. Crisscrossing with Kucherov. What a move in front. Scores. It's a penalty set up by Kucherov.
That was another classic Kucherov magic moment. That was just a crisscross, similar to what he did to Ekblad, but more closer to, and then the backhand pass, which is just becoming his trademark, this no-look backhand pass right on the tape of Palat. And credit Palat for going to the net, keeping his stick on the ice. It looks like an easy conversion, but it's not when it's that quick and that tight. But just a phenomenal play by Kucherov to set up this goal.
Yeah, and I thought Nikita Kucherov had been very, very quiet up to that point, and all of a sudden, all he needs is one little bit of room.
Yeah.
And what gave me confidence on that goal was Makar and Devontae that were out there.
Yeah.
And again, I've talked to you, that's the cream of the crop right now in the NHL when it comes to defense pairings. It's Makar and Devontae. And it gave me such great confidence to see Nikita Kucherov undress him, Devontae, that is. Andre Palat beat Makar to the back post and able to tap that in.
Yeah.
I saw that goal, and I'm like, okay, We can penetrate through these guys.
That's what I'm saying.
Talent too.
Yes.
So
this just in.
Yeah. They're not unbeatable by any means. That defense pairing.
No, not at all. And that's what I'm saying about this Avs team. They are explosive, but they're not the best defensive team. And we've seen that throughout the playoffs. So 48 seconds later, the Lightning get even, and it's Mikhail Sergachev with what really is his third goal of the playoffs in my mind, from the point. And he has an uncanny knack to be able to find a shooting lane and snap that wrister and get it through. And here it is.
O'Connor. Eagle gets it back. At the line. Scores! Game is tied. Mikhail Sergachev.
Yeah, a little bit of a screen in front. I don't think Kemper ever really saw that one, but great accuracy by Sergachev. Hits both posts and goes in. And within 48 seconds, we're tied at 3. And I thought the Lightning played a very good third period. Nobody scores. And then you have we didn't play the 5-on-3 that made it 3-1. Just ridiculous. You got to have a more egregious foul in that situation for me. But the Lightning tied up, and they go into overtime and they have to beat off that penalty. The Pat Maroon puts the puck out of play. It's just a terrible, the puck kind of rolled on him right at the end there. He's trying to hit it off the boards. It goes into the freaking crowd. And even though they didn't score on that, it certainly gave them momentum and tilted the ice their way.
It did. It did tilt the ice their way a little bit. But even then, after the Lightning killed it off, they had like a little flurry, remember?
Yeah, they did.
And Hedman had a good chance to kind of score on the penalty kill.
That's the point I was. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And
we had 2 good shorthanded chances.
Yeah. I really felt
boy, and if they buried one of those.
Oh, I know. Ooh. But I just really felt, I know hindsight's 2020, but I thought the Lightning were going to steal that game.
Yeah, I did too. I totally did.
Feeling.
At that point, I totally thought they were going to steal it.
Hitting off that penalty, they looked like they had some jump. They found their
game. We
hit
hit the post, I think.
Yeah, I thought the Lightning had found their game, to be honest with you. Yeah. I thought they got better as the game went on. Maybe that was a bit of a discouraging moment for Colorado not to score on that power play.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, we talk about puck luck and how important it is, and it got the Lightning, and here it was right here at Burakovsky to win the game.
Bouncing puck for Sergachev. Here comes Cropper. JT Cropper shot block. The Justin game winner.
That's obnoxious.
Enough with the horn.
That's obnoxious goal horning there. It's got to be one long horn blow or 2.
What's the budget on the horn over there? My goodness.
Staccato horn blowing here. Come on. We can't have that. That's not good hockey. Look, I'm not going to put this one on Vasilevsky. This is a great play and a great shot by Burakovsky, who, by the way, buried a couple on Vasi in Game 7 back in 2018 against Washington. It's just, look, I think a lot of people want to blame Sergey for that one. Hedman didn't get the clear that he needed. It bounces back to Sergey, and he's got people coming at him. So he's got to make a choice. I got to get the puck out of the zone. I can try and settle this bouncing puck, and it could get by me, and 3 guys are on their way, or I could just try to slap it out. He slaps it out. It just happens to go right on the tape of I forget who it is, but who's already moving forward. And at that point, the Lightning are on their heels, and it's game over.
Yeah, and if you're trying to have a silver lining here, the Lightning, if you look at all the goals that were scored, I mean, 2 of them were given away. One was given away by Sergachev.
Yep.
One was given away by Hedman on the board.
Yep.
And the other one was given away by Braden Point. And then the other one is the 5-on-3, which was inevitable if they were going to score. So
if I'm not mistaken, the Lightning had or the Avalanche had 17 takeaways to the Lightning's 4 last night. I'm going to double check those. Yeah, 17-4 on takeaways.
There you go.
That's not good.
There you go. And, it's
3 of them turned into goals.
3 of them turned into goals. So
if
you're trying to look for reasons why you should be optimistic about the Lightning, I mean, as usual, they do it. They've done it to themselves.
Yeah,
they did it to themselves last night. And that goal, I mean, Hedman didn't get a stick in the lane. He kind of played again. I thought Sergachev giving it away is one thing. but like I said earlier, the Lightning just did too much of backing up and like closer to Vasilevsky. Just too much room.
Yeah,
it's just too much room. I mean, in Vasilevsky, you can maybe go and say, "Oh, well, he didn't get across fast enough." You know, I'm not.
I think, there was something in his skate did not.
Yeah, he didn't. It was uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
The net was really wide open.
Yeah, he went to move, and for some reason, I don't know if his skate hit the other guy's skate or what, but he didn't get the push off back to the other post for whatever reason. But that, to me, that goal was more that happened, right in front of him. But it's a lucky bounce. It's a lucky bounce in an on-rushing team that's being aggressive, making it count. It wasn't the greatest. You didn't need a great shot. It was a wide open net. So yeah, and it is what it is. You win the overtime, and for the Lightning, you just get right back at it. You make your adjustments. You got two, and I also like the fact that they have an extra day to get used to the altitude as well. So I think I'm not discouraged. I'm not discouraged at all. I mean, it sucks that they went down 1-0 in this series, but there's nothing in that game that's told me the Avalanche is so much faster, so much more talented, and are going to overwhelm the Lightning.
Well, no. I would say they are. I will say they're faster.
They are faster.
There's any debate about that.
And so was Toronto.
And
so was Florida.
I'll give them credit.
And so are the Rangers.
I'll give them credit for this too, because I talked about the physical matchup. I thought Colorado answered the physical matchup bell yesterday. I mean, they were throwing hits. I saw Jack Johnson was throwing hits. Eric Johnson was throwing hits. Those two veterans. Kel McCarr sandwiched Hagel against the
43-40 in hits.
Yeah, a lot of hits
for
last
Avalanche.
night.
It's 83 total hits by my FSU math there. I mean, the numbers were pretty even except for the takeaways. And I'm not exactly sure what the difference between a giveaway and a takeaway is. It's subjective, obviously, but 17 takeaways to 4 for the Lightning just tell me that the Avalanche were just more aggressive.
And what were the giveaways?
Lightning only had 2 giveaways, according to the Statmaster. And
how do you have 17 take?
I don't know. I can't answer that question. These are subjective stats in a lot of different ways. It's not like a turnover in football, which is objective.
Well, I mean,
these are very subjective.
Whatever it means. I mean, 2 giveaways is better than 28 like they had in game 1 against New York last round. So I'll take it as an improvement.
I would say, from what I know, takeaways are more forced. You win a battle.
Yeah,
you win a battle.
Maybe like in tennis, there's unforced errors, there's forced errors, things like that.
I would say that's a very good analogy right there.
Thank you.
All right, can we get some Cooper sound? And I thought Coop was very, very direct afterwards, as he always is, very candid. And of course, you're not going to hear any panic in his voice at all, or any of the Lightning players or coaches. And away we go.
John, you've been in this position before, down early. Mm-hmm. How does this feel compared to those other experiences?
Well, anytime you lose game 1, you're not feeling great about it. We dipped our toes in the water, at the beginning of the game, and obviously dug ourselves a hole. But there were stretches that game I liked what we were doing, and there were stretches I didn't. And I could say that about game 1 in Toronto and game 1 against the Rangers. So this is we've cleaned this up, but there's some positive signs for us in this game. It was. But the right team won the game, so give them credit for pulling it out. We've got better in us, though. I don't think by a country mile did we give them our best game, and we still had a chance to pull it out.
There it is.
But to beat a talented team like that, we got a better game in us.
Left side, second row, Greg.
Steven Stamkos is talking about how, obviously it was an uncharacteristic start for Vasilevsky, but the way he battled back kind of gave you guys a little bit of a lift. Did you kind of see the same thing from the bench?
I thought he was dialed in with the first one, moving screen. So, that was a tough one for him. I don't know the second one maybe, but I thought, he was probably our best player tonight.
On the right side, Tom.
John, what do you think changed for you guys that you did better maybe after the first 10, 15 minutes? What do you think changed after maybe the first 10, 15 minutes for you guys? The
TV timeout. We got to take a breath, and we've been in this position before. Actually, ironically, the last time we played him here, the exact same thing happened. We were down 2 and then came all the way back. and just couldn't close it out in the end. So, it's a great environment. It's game one, crowd's going nuts. They're all jacked up. And like I said, this is a different team. We're not used to seeing them. They play with an extremely high pace. Betsy does a really great job at coaching that team. And but our group, we should have handled that a little bit better. It was unfortunate we were down 2, but pretty gutsy for the guys to come back, send this to overtime, and especially kill that penalty off at the end. It's just unfortunate bounce, and they capitalized. So good for them.
All right, we'll take a break here. We're going to chat with Dan Lucas live from the Rocky Mountains. He's out there covering it from News Channel 8. So we've awakened him early, and we'll get the groggy Dan Lucas from News Channel 8 when we come back. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. If you have any issues with The stucco on the outside of your home, if you built your home in the last 10 to 15 years, a lot of substandard stucco work has been done. Chris Palermo has represented many, many homeowners and gotten them big payouts, over millions of dollars in payouts. So if you think you have a case, just give him a call. Go to PalermoPA.com, get his contact information there, email him or call him, set up a free consultation. See if you have a case, because you just might. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Dan Lucas from News Channel 8, live out in Denver. What's your view like? Do you have a view of the Rocky Mountains there, the snow-capped Rocky Mountains, even in the heat of summer?
And the first thing I do in the morning, I open the curtain and I check out the Rockies.
Oh,
your friends.
so beautiful.
They're gorgeous. The first day we got here, we were here Monday night. Tuesday there was a fire in somewhere in Arizona, and it was kind of hazy.
Right.
So I opened up the curtains Tuesday morning. I couldn't see the mountains. I was like, no.
Oh.
I only got so many days here. Yeah. Can you imagine how disappointing that is?
Yes.
You know, to see the Rockies in Denver. Yeah. But I'm looking at them right now. They're beautiful. I've never been in the Rockies. You know that?
Never?
I've never set foot in the Rocky Mountains. Never went skiing there.
Dude,
never been rafting or seen them a million times.
Our condo up in Breckenridge is empty right now, so I'm gonna get you the keys. You can go up there if you have any off time. You won't be able to snow ski, but it's so beautiful up there, and they've got tons of stuff to do up in Breckenridge, even in the summer. Try the mountain slide, really really cool. Just go hiking. You know, you can they'll take you up on the ski lifts all the way to the top of the mountain. You can have lunch up there. It's just an amazing view. So yeah, go hang out and brag. It's like an hour and a half drive, hour and 15. It's great.
I love chilling out. I love chilling out in the mountains. I've done that in Park City. Same thing in the summertime, like you're saying, summertime activities. A lot of stuff going on, fun, at concerts and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, and there's just something for me. Well, going up the mountains, it just does something to your body and your mind, physically, mentally. You just go to the top, put some music on or just listen to nature. And it's just, and you look out over the Continental Divide and just this massive mountain range. And it's breathtaking. It's something I'm talking about it like it's something like I'm thirsty for it. Like I got to get out there soon where my head's going to freaking explode.
Your listeners think we're doing some therapeutical, botanical show. Get into your inner self. Get the inner self out, man. Chill out in the mountains.
True mental masturbation is what it is. Something like that. Anyway.
Exactly.
But anyway, let's talk some hockey, shall we? What was the atmosphere like last night? It seemed very, very loud on television, and it seemed like it was loud a lot of the time. What was it like?
That's my first game inside that arena, and it was tremendous. Great atmosphere. I'll tell you what, everybody I ran into, just great people. And they're cheering for the Avs. They weren't, saying anything bad about the Lightning. So I just thought it was just a fun place to watch a game for sure. They had an outdoor watch party. It's actually on the campus of University of Colorado has a Denver campus, which is literally catty corner to the arena. So about, I'd say 2 blocks away, they had an outdoor watch party like we do at Amalie on Thunder Alley. And that was hopping as well. And they showed that, they would show shots of that during the broadcast. And it's weird because it's daylight here throughout most of the game. So when you see the watch party shots, it's in sunlight. So it's kind of something to get used to. But no, they do a great job here. And the fans, they brought it. And whenever I see that and hear that, I think to myself, all right, well, what do you got, Emily? Let's see what you got in game 3. Yeah. And I think the Lightning fans always answer the challenge.
Well, those people paid a lot of money for those tickets, so they were going to get their shrieks in last night. I think their upper deck tickets were going for like $900 at lower levels. Like you couldn't get anything less than $2 grand.
What the heck was that I saw? Did you see 4 sections up top? It looked like that was on media.
Yeah, that's what our friend said.
That's where our seating. That's where my seats are. Wow. There's up in a 300 level up behind one of the goals. There's 4 media sections, and I would have to imagine that'll be similar to the setup in Amalie because there's a ton of media here. I mean, all over the world. This is the first Stanley Cup in since 2019.
Yeah.
That's
fully attended
back to. Yeah. So you sit in the media work center, and I'm hearing languages from all over the world. And,
yeah.
And of course, we got all the Tampa media guys here. It's great
Some
having
of them
all
actually
together.
speak English too.
Yeah, so it's this is it. I mean, it's back. So yeah, it's probably going to be like that in Emily too, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be 4 upper sections of media though. I don't know. I guess they'll have to, but maybe it's not going to be equal. I don't know. But I've never seen that. I've seen like 1 section, maybe 2. I've never seen 4. So, and we talked about this with the gentleman from Denver Gazette yesterday, George Stoya, and he said the same thing about the languages. And it's interesting how the NHL, we talk about the NBA being a global game. The NHL is the most global game. I mean, they have more guys from more different countries, and they're crazy represented in the media. I mean, you get one guy from Slovenia, and half their media people are here. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, in the media room last night, they brought John Cooper in for the podium, and then Jared Bednar and 2 Avalanche players, Landeskog and Burakovsky, the guy who scored the winning goal. And they did the press conference in English and Swedish. So you get your English out of the way, and then it was Swedish for like 6 minutes.
And that's an interesting language.
Yeah, so they're beat guys basically. It's not just a featurey type thing for them. They're covering the series inside and out. And even at the morning skate, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, the Lightning, took questions in Swedish, which was I knew the guy was multilingual, but I didn't know Swedish was one of them. But
really,
rattled it off perfect. Yeah, absolutely. It was impressive.
Isn't it?
It was impressive.
Isn't it nice to hear those reporters speak English? And I got to tell you, when the French Canadians speak English, they make it sound better than we do. They really do.
Oh, they're so eloquent, and it reminds me of my grammar. Right? So for the next, you talk to somebody from Quebec or Sweden, for the next 10 minutes, you use perfect grammar. You don't use slang. It's great. And then we get back to our normal.
Yeah, exactly. All right, back to hockey now. What was the sense of the players after the game? We heard some of the press conference, but I mean, clearly there's no panic in the Lightning, and I feel like, like John Cooper said, that they got a lot better in them, and they were still, a post away from winning in overtime.
Yeah, I think that obviously the start of the game is not what they wanted, and I think that was a little bit alarming since the Avalanche were the team coming off of the long layoff.
Yeah,
but I think the crowd had a lot to do with that, and the Lightning took a while to get momentum. They weren't winning any puck battles. They were taking the hits.
Yeah,
big hits, and couldn't get out of the zone. And I know 2 of the goals on the Avs were the result of not clearing the zones, and going down on the 5-on-3 was a little disheartening.
Yeah,
I think it was, as from our perspective, from the Lightning perspective, the call on Cirelli, a little, ticky-tacky, especially when you watch it. And but 5-on-3 in a Stanley Cup final, I think that's a quick trigger from the official standpoint to put a team down 5-on-3 like that. But that's in the past. They picked up their game. I thought they played a very good second period and showed that that even the arena reacted to the second period. They're like, okay, well, this is going to be a game.
Exactly.
This is going to be a series. So I think that was a good message. And I told a lot of the folks that were, that people who don't cover the Lightning, they were asking me about the team during the game last night. And they said, this is the Lightning sometimes.
Yeah.
When they don't look, they don't look themselves, they grind. All of a sudden, it's a 3-3 hockey game.
Right.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
And that's what we had last night. So it was unfortunate to lose in overtime. And you hate to end the game and start an overtime killing a penalty as well. But in the end, it was a 5-on-5 goal. So it was a little broken play by the Bolts. I'm sure they'd want that back. I thought once it went to overtime, I thought it was going to be a Lightning win for sure.
Yeah, me too. Well, they had a couple of shorthanded chances really good chances. And then as soon as the penalty expired, they had a really good rush where Kemper was on his back, and I thought the Lightning had a couple of opportunities to just throw the puck at the net from an odd angle, but just get it back on net while he's on his ass to see what happens. And they didn't do that, and I think that was indicative of the entire game. I thought the Lightning had shooting lanes that they passed up, and I think with it, when you have what I would call an average goalie in a situation like this, high pressure situation. He's had some eye issues. Maybe he's completely healthy, but every shooting lane I see, if I see net, I'm putting it on there. I don't want to see the Lightning waiting for that perfect opportunity and passing up shooting lanes. I thought their shot volume with just 60 shot attempts to 79 from the Avs. That's not good enough. There's one thing that I think they can really change in terms of how they play. I think that would be it. Would you agree?
I would agree, and I based on watching what I was able to watch, especially in the Western Conference Final, I thought that they would fire the puck often and from distance.
Yes.
And something. So that didn't happen last night. I thought for sure, and I still think for sure that goaltending is going to be the difference in this series. But yeah, they've got to get him figured out. I don't think it's an issue of figuring him out. They just got to get their game right. I think you could put that guy in a tight space and rattle him if you get a couple of pucks past him.
Dan Lucas joining us live from the mountains up there in Denver. Tell me a little bit about. Sorry, I got a little. I got distracted by Big Bad Brad on my Instagram here. Which, by the way, if you're not following him, you must. So, what is your sense on the next couple of days? The Lightning can work on a couple of things and really get dialed into because this has been their ML, right? They may fall behind, but they analyze and they have a team that has the hockey IQ to figure out exactly what they need to do, and then they have the talent to go out and do it. Is that what you expect to see next couple of days? They'll have some practice time.
Yeah, well, this is the day, right? This is the day that the evil John Cooper gets into the lab and concocts something, and he made a comment before the series. It was interesting that he credits Franz Jean, the goaltender coach, for figuring out the opponent's goaltender. So I think Franz is going to be looking at some videos today about Kemper, and they might have a better strategy for Game 2 for that. Team's not going to skate today; they're going to take the day off, and they'll have a practice tomorrow. I thought they went pretty hard Tuesday in practice. Kind of test out the altitude a little bit. And then they went to the media day. Cooper says they didn't go that hard, but I thought they were working pretty hard. So I think they tested themselves and got through that first game. And hopefully they can get that, a little bit more of an adjustment altitude-wise for Game 2. I would love to see the charts on the shifts to see how long guys were on the ice last night. If that was something they were consciously monitoring for sure. I don't think it didn't seem to affect them. At least that didn't look like that to me.
There was a couple
this
moments.
This is the day where they're going to go to the film for sure.
Yeah, there were a couple moments when Bogosian got caught on the ice for like a minute 12, which it's long, but it's not a minute 45. And he was just like bent over and gassed. They took a close-up shot at him, and he was just bent over. There were a couple of times because I was kind of looking for it in their close-up cutaway shots as guys went to the bench, and I could see it. Did they talk? They're probably not going to talk about it because once you start talking about it, you speak it into existence. I know the Lightning, they don't like doing that. No professional athlete does. But did they speak about it at all? Did the altitude bother them at all?
Well, not much after the game. I didn't recall hearing anything. Okay. It was before the game that they said, when it's hard to tell because when you play the Avalanche, you pop into Denver, you play the game, then you're out. So you don't really have a chance. I mean, it takes days to acclimate to altitude. Even in a week, they're probably not going to be fully acclimated. But, they'll at least have a little bit more legs under them for Game 2 on Saturday night. But the thing about when you play the Avalanche, and I think this is part of the Avalanche system, is taking advantage of teams that pop in here and play games.
Yeah.
And will be sucking wind. They are literally, when that puck is anywhere near their blue line, they are looking to take off.
Yep.
I mean, it reminds me a lot of the Florida Panthers system, where when they get the puck, their heads are up. They're looking to go. And that's where you're saying, if Bogosian's caught sucking wind there in the neutral zone and can't get back in his position properly, that's an issue.
Yeah.
So that would be one thing where altitude could play a factor as the game goes on. But it's just scheme versus scheme, hockey versus hockey, and it's about having your defenseman in the correct position to prevent that.
Yeah.
And so they've had a way of doing it, but we'll see. We'll see in game 2.
All right, brother. What's on tap for News Channel 8 the next couple of days? What will your coverage include?
Well, tonight's we're going to talk post-mortem. The game ended so late, really didn't get to hear from the guys much. So
right.
We're going to hear from a lot of the players tonight, and then get ready for a practice day tomorrow. See if there's going to be any adjustments. I don't think so. I think the health is good. Brandon Hagel played last night. He's dealing with that foot. And then, of course, Braden Point. I would like to see how he's doing. I would like to see how he's, getting back into the mix. And he was a little bit of a factor last night. I thought he played really well. So we'll talk about that tonight.
All right. Sounds good, my friend. Appreciate it. And we'll check in with you later. Enjoy the mountains.
All right, JP. I will. The thin air is getting to me, baby. I love it.
All right. We'll see you soon. Great. Dan Lucas there, News Channel 8. Check out their coverage all week long right there on News Channel 8. All right. We'll take a break and come back, and we'll give you an update of the U.S. Open. Balls are in the air. John Rahm on top of the leaderboard, or was for a bit. Colin Morikawa as well, a couple of former U.S. Open champions. So we'll check in at the Open when we come back. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you, and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. And I saw this just the other day. A local company, they have had major lawsuits against them, not only for bad stucco but for other things. A very popular builder, and you got to understand, especially in the last couple of years with supply chain issues. Last year, a lot of these builders are using substandard stuff. So if you're having a commercial place built or a residential place built, you got to be careful for defects. They're cutting corners. It's just the way things are these days, but you don't have to put up with it. You're paying for it. You deserve what you get. Christopher Palermo is experienced in this field, and he will let you know if you have a case or you don't have a case, especially with the stucco issues. Very, very common here. So if you have cracks in the side of your house and you're like, oh, it's just normal settling, it may be, but it may not be. And there may be a lot of damage behind that. And he'll be able to let you know how to tell the difference. It's a free consultation, free call. So go to PalermoPA.com, either email them or give them a call, and they'll quickly set up an appointment, get a consultation with Chris, and he will help you out. He's gained millions of dollars for his clients over the years. So go to PalermoPA.com, connect with him, and tell him JP sent you. All right, the U.S. Open is underway, folks, and John Rahm is off to a really good start at the Country Club at Brookline. What a beautiful venue this is, and a classic venue, a long time U.S. Open, USGA course. As you know, we've spent a lot of time over the last decade going to some places that maybe weren't U.S. Open quality, but were public courses. I get it, but sometimes I like when they return to kind of the rota of some of these great, Baltusrol and the Country Club at Brookline. The rough is like, my God, it probably looks a lot like your backyard right now because nobody wants to go out and mow that thing because it's too freaking hot. And anywhere around the greens, anywhere in the rough, it's just it's a crapshoot. And right now, scores are very, very well. Morikawa is your co-leader at 3 under par. He's got about a 2-footer or probably 4-footer for par right now. It's tough out there, but I'm glad that we're playing golf and not talking about the LIV, which is what we're going to talk about right now. A lot of chatter about this, and Brooks Koepka got a little chappy with some of the reporters the other day, saying, why do you guys keep talking about this? Because the fans are talking about it, Brooks. Sometimes I think he gets a little bit too crusty for my tastes. And Phil talked at length about it, and when's he teeing off this afternoon? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I doubt if he's going to make the cut, to be quite honest with you. I think this type of, you've got to drive the ball really, really straight, and that's not his forte. So I would not expect Phil to be the leader, but what a story that would be if he got into contention this week. Whoo!
Just for the drama circumstances, I hope he wins the damn thing.
He ain't going to win it. He ain't even going to make the cut.
I just want one of these live guys to win it. I just want.
Why are you so pro live tour? What is up with that?
Pro live tour?
Yeah.
I'm not pro anything.
I think you are pro live tour.
I am pro athlete maximizing their wallet while they're still a pro athlete. I'm pro that. I told you, it doesn't matter if I morally think it's right or not. It doesn't matter if we do. It's these guys' decisions to take the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've said, if they're in their 40s or 50s, like Rory says, it's not an impressive field. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We talked about with Bob Harrigan last week. It doesn't matter if it makes money, the tour. It doesn't. It's a venture.
It's not a return on investment type thing for the Saudis. It's something that's called sports washing to make your country or your culture look more normal than it really is. But the fact is, we still know what your human rights violations are. We still know how you treat women. We still know that you torture and kill gays. LGBTQ. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody. It's abominable. Is what they do. But if you want to disqualify everything that's connected to Saudi money, go live in a hole. Because
that's what I'm saying. Like we haven't sanctioned this country at all for anything that they've done over the last 20, 30 years, whatever. And now when it comes to golf, this is the people that we're taking it out on.
Because Phil Mickelson brought it out into the public.
But here's the thing.
In a very direct way.
I would probably feel different because regards to the level of competition, I think John Rahm said it the other day, 54 holes, shotgun start is not a golf tournament.
It's not.
I 100% agree with that. I think every time when there's
cheesy.
When there's a new league, think the XFL, for example, when it first came around. What did they want to do? Instead of coin toss, they wanted to do the
fumble recovery, which
thing.
I love, which the NFL should adopt right now, overnight.
Well, everybody got hurt right away, so it was a stupid idea. Everybody
what they need to do is pick 2 fans out of the stands.
Everybody tries everybody tries to reinvent the game, right? They want to reinvent the game. They want to change everything.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: people are so preconditioned to watch to watch football the way it was made, to watch golf the way it was made. Nobody's gonna be like, yeah, especially even golf, for crying out loud. What's the average age of viewer? Nobody's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna get on board with this new thing now after I've been watching the PGA Tour for 60 years.
Like, what team is he on?
It's weird. And by the way, they're probably not even watching it because they figure out they got to watch it on YouTube or a website. It ain't happening.
Exactly.
So
if it ain't on their remote, it ain't working.
So in that standpoint, if you're somebody like Bryson DeChambeau, you're in the prime of your career. He's not even 30 yet. I don't even think.
No.
To me, I would be more outraged. I would put more of my outrage at him, not because he took the money, but just from a competitive standpoint, you're taking the high road, or the easy road rather.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking the easy road by going to play with a bunch of 40, 50-year-old has-beens who are just collecting a paycheck at this point. And that's fine. Again, I have no problem with that. But if you're Bryson DeChambeau, you're doing that just to collect a paycheck, number one, and you're probably going to dominate this tour because you're the only one out there that's capable of winning anything on the PGA Tour. So if you want to direct criticism anywhere, I'll direct it to him and to anybody that's around his age and at his stature in the game for going over there. From a competitive standpoint, I think that is an easy way out.
Well, where this is going to meet rubber meets the road is when, and we saw it a little bit at the Canadian Open, when typically Dustin Johnson's going to play in that tournament, and he did not. And as we get further down and more guys go over to the Live Tour, we're going to have competing tour events whose field is really, really watered down. And that's where it's going to hurt you. And frankly, the Valspar might be one of those tournaments. And so we're going to go from, getting, 25 of the top 50 players in the world or more to maybe 7. That really, really hurts these events. It hurts them big time. You're not, and you can say what you want, but if DeChambeau and Dustin Johnson and most of the bigger name players are teeing it up in a stupid ass LIV event, you may not watch it, but you know what else you're not watching? The Valspar. And the guys know that this is threatening the PGA Tour. I mean, the PGA Tour is always going to be there, but it's going to hurt its prestige. It's going to hurt its fields. And it's all for a money grab. And it comes down, and I don't blame those particular players, but it's like, why do we have to do this? Like, why are you effing with the tour? Because it's Greg Norman. He's got a vendetta. He's always had a vendetta. Yeah. He's been trying to do this for 30 years. He finally found a money pit that he can work with. And after a while, when the Saudis realize that it's not changing it's actually making their culture look worse which I think it is, it just makes it, to me, it's just it's dirty Saudi money screwing up our PGA Tour. That's my emotion. I have no emotion towards the players. I have no emotion towards, and I know Rory McIlroy does, not necessarily specifically for the players, but the situation. And I don't blame him, because you're effing with their livelihood in some ways, because if the PGA Tour is starting to get less eyeballs because of the LIV, then, it could affect sponsorships. It could affect all those things. So I think in terms of a lot of different people, it just looks like a lot of these guys are just going for the money. It looks kind of selfish, and they're not sticking with the PGA Tour. Now, I think the PGA Tour needs to wake up a little bit. It's kind of like this college football situation that, you have a lot of people that are making money at the top and greedy people at the top. And I know they give a lot of money to charity as well. We've talked about that. So they've got to wake up, though, and give their players better benefits. They've got to, pay for travel. They've got to pay for caddy travel. They got to pay for a lot of things that they can afford to pay for that they're not currently doing. Yes, that's going to take a chunk out of what they can give to charity, but frankly, it's a business model that when it's exposed to other competition, doesn't look so good. Fair point?
Yeah, fair point. But like you said at the beginning, though, the U.S. Open is here. So for right now, I think as time goes on, we're going to kind of forget about all this. The questions are going to stop being asked eventually.
Yes.
It's just going to happen. We're going to accept it. There's a LIV tour, there's a PGA tour, and they're all going to combine when we get to the majors, at least for now. We don't know, but that's the understanding we have. And again, if you want to go over there, it's not a bad strategy. Listen, if somebody's going to pay you $100-something million to show up, play 8 events, and you can play in the major still, I might judge that.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, it sounds like a good life to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deal with it morally how you want.
All right. As far as the leaderboard goes, Matthew Naismith is at the top at 3 under par. Colin Morikawa at 2 under par. David Lingmerth at 2 under par. And they're through 14 holes, all those guys. Rory McIlroy is at 2 under par, playing. I love Rory this week. He's hot. The last time he won a major, he won the week before. He's the best driver of the golf ball, and I think that's going to be huge. If you can keep the ball in the fairway, you can make birdies. Some birdies out here. The rough is very, very penal. So I love Rory this week. Joaquin Niemann at 2 under par. This guy's just been, hasn't won a major yet, but I mean, I think he's the best player out there right now who hasn't won a major.
Yeah, but I think Rory right now, we've been watching him here for the last hour or so. He looks dialed in. He's playing clean golf right now. Again, his key is starting off strong and being able to keep playing really good like he always does on days 3 and 4. And right now, 2 under for him. What is it? Matthew Naismith at 3 under in the lead right now. Looks like Morikawa dropped a shot. Yeah, you mentioned it. It looks like a day one leaderboard at the U.S. Open. Yeah, a lot of names.
A lot of games you'll never hear before or haven't heard. Stuart Hegestead, amateurs at 2 under par. Who else? Some of these: Patrick Rogers, Sam Bennett, James Pyatt, 1 under par. Aaron Wise, Adam Schenk. I have the last name Schenk. Schenk, with an E. This will all kind of work out as the day goes on because it's brutally tough out there. And I think the winning score is probably going to be 5 or 6 under because they can make it a lot harder than it is today. So we'll see. But I love Rory. Who else? I think Joaquin Niemann's ready to win and can get a game worthy of winning a U.S. Open. And I think Phil's going out this afternoon, right?
Yeah, it does feel that like Rory, to me, consistency in his career has been really hard to come by for him, even though he might be the most talented player out there. Right now, he seems just to me the most locked in. And Justin Thomas, too, I think has had a fantastic season. Yep. He's just always in the mix.
Yeah, he's teeing at 114 with Victor Hovland and Tony Finau, and Thomas and Finau played. And Sam Burns, too. Burns and Justin Thomas have been linked at the hip the last few weeks. Brooks Koepka goes out at 125. Cam Smith, 125 with Scotty Scheffler. So Koepka, Smith, and Scheffler, that's a hell of a
I don't have confidence in Koepka right now.
I don't either.
I liked his game when the season began, but the last few tournaments, I don't know. He hasn't been as dialed in at majors.
No,
like the last couple years.
He used to compete, and he won those 4 in quick space, and was on the leaderboard every single time. It felt like, but not since maybe PGA has he really been in contention when Phil won last year.
And if Scotty Scheffler too. I mean, I guess this is a big one for him. Is this magical run? Is it over?
He'll be in the mix on Sunday.
Reaching the end, or is he going to be in the mix?
No, I think he's going to be there Sunday. Another great, driver of the golf ball. Dustin Johnson goes at 136. Good afternoon, groups. Matt Fitzpatrick. A lot of people picking Matt Fitzpatrick this week to get his first major championship. I don't even think he's won yet. So that's interesting. And I'm looking for Phil's time here. In the afternoon. I'm missing it here somewhere. DeChambeau's going at 147. Louis Oosthuizen, another one of those live golf tour people.
I feel like he's skated through all of the criticism. You know what I mean? I understand he's had a rough season, but he's also a very good golfer in his own right when he wants to be. But he's kind of just skated through all that.
Yeah, a little bit. Sergio going off at 103. Let's see. Anyway. Well, we'll get you up to date and keep you up to date as we go through it today. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side, and we'll talk some Bucks football. And there's a story out that it's kind of weird. I was kind of reading it this morning, kind of going through it, but I have some experience with this. The Bucks are being targeted by Ron DeSantis' office for their COVID vaccine policy. All right, interesting story. We'll tell you about that when we come back. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new, healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799.
Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Christopher Lugo, his medical team over there, will take great care of you. If you need some testosterone replacement therapy, they are experts in the field. If you're looking to lose weight, boost your immune system, just get healthy again. It's a great place to go. They use modern techniques. Christopher Lugo works with the military in the National Guard and keeps our pilots in tip-top shape. So he could do the same for you using these modern techniques. And they'll personalize everything for you, your diet, your exercise plan, whatever you need, because everybody's different. They metabolize drugs differently, and they metabolize food differently. People have different food allergies. And that could really drastically affect your health. And so it's not kind of this old Western medicine, just write a script and get you out of the office in 10 minutes type deal. They spend real time with you to find out what's going on with you and to get you to optimal health. That's Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com is the way to get in touch with them. And just call and get an appointment. They are taking new patients at this time, but won't always. So get in now. All right, we're going to get to the Rays here in just a second. Another loss to the freaking Yankees, who are just absolutely just bludgeoning people at this point. But this curious story from the Times, the DeSantis administration targeting the Bucks over employee vaccine requirements. This is a clickbait gem right here. You got Bucks, you got DeSantis, you got vaccines. I mean, this is this is what you call clickbait gold. But it's an interesting story, and it talks about the Bucks hiring practices currently. It says all new hires are required to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and provide verification for vaccination prior to commencement of employment. Fully vaccinated means at least 2 weeks after the final dose of the J&J, Moderna, or Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines. DeSantis' office, Jeremy Redfern, their health press secretary, tweeted out, this is against Florida law. Florida law allows private employers to mandate vaccines so long as they provide individual exemptions, allowing an employee to opt out based on one of 5 carve-outs. Medical reasons like pregnancy, those who have already been infected with COVID-19 have natural immunity, which is better than the vaccine, proven. Religious objections, and those who agree to periodic testing, and those who agree to wearing protective equipment. That sounds very reasonable to me. Besides demanding someone take a vaccine that might not be good for them. And there's tons of data out there that suggests that it's exactly the case. Christina Pushaw, DeSantis press secretary, retweeted Redfern adding caught in 4K, common parlance meaning to capture behavior in clear view. Quote, if the Bucks were to clarify that their policy includes the exemptions that are required by Florida law, that would be fine, she said. But their hiring announcement doesn't say that. The National Football League and NFL Players Association agreed in March to drop all COVID-19 protocols for the 2022 season. The league ceased requirements for masks, tracking devices, blah, 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 blah. Last year, the governor issued an executive order to prohibit businesses from requiring people to show that they have been vaccinated to gain entry. Florida lawmakers also made permanent a ban on so-called vaccine passports. So this may just be, evidently the Times has asked the Bucks for comment. This may be just a situation where they haven't updated their protocols, or maybe something that they're trying to do. I don't know. But, we're not going to get into a full vaccine thing here, but it seems to me the whole idea of mandating vaccines with no carve-outs whatsoever right now is a little bit antiquated and frankly unconstitutional.
On the surface, though, I don't like my politicians getting involved with my sports teams.
No,
you know how I feel about that. That's why I didn't like the whole thing.
But the counter to that is stop doing stuff that's not that they put you in this political sphere.
It's not even a political sphere. What's a political sphere about?
Unfortunately, vaccine mandates have become, and vaccines and our health has become a political football.
I don't look
it shouldn't be, but
I don't look at that as a political sphere, and I don't know. I just don't like government getting in the way of what sports teams are doing. I feel like those are way separate entities. Way separate.
Well, first of all, this is more on the business side. It's just it's about their employees, so it won't affect the football team in any way, shape, or form. They have their it's interesting now that there is no vaccine mandate for the players, but there is a vaccine mandate for the employees, which seems a little odd. But and I would guess if that's your policy for all your employees, are they going above and beyond what they're expecting from their from what other teams are expecting from their players? Because if that's the case, I don't think that would. I think you would be putting yourself at a competitive disadvantage if you're going to require all your players to be vaccinated when no other teams are doing that.
Well, that's my thing. Is this like a league-wide?
No, it's specific to the Bucks.
Specific to the Bucks.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that. Now,
I have a hard time believing the Bucks are the only team.
Well, it just said that the NFL has dropped all their COVID mandates for the players and coaches.
But that is.
But I don't know if they're mandating it for all other employees through all teams.
Right,
I don't know that. I would think not.
Even if that's a thing, though, I think every team would still have their. Doesn't every team still have their? They can still have their own policies, right?
Not for the players.
Not for the players.
Not for the players and coaches. Everything has to be uniform, I think.
But this is relating to the employees.
Yeah, this is related strictly for new hires. For new hires.
Well,
and I guess the old hires are already under this policy.
Well, I guess maybe I don't agree with it, obviously, but at the same time, I don't know what. Like, I feel like if it's employee wise, does this go is this only Bucks employees or this is like Raymond James employees? Is this Bucks employees?
Bucks employees.
Just Bucks employees.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Bucks hiring practices.
That would eliminate what I was about to say then, because I was going to point out, if it had to do with stadium as well,
no,
how many different stadiums you go to in which city, and people are forced to wear masks, some aren't,
No, it has nothing to do with the fans.
To do with that.
It's just their hiring practices. And I think what's going on here from a political standpoint is there's a highly visible, as I said, clickbait gold, right? It's a highly visible company, the Bucks, and they're doing something that goes against what DeSantis has put his political career on, quite frankly, is being, protecting Floridians against vaccine mandates, masks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I will say without hesitation at all, he's been on the right side of all of this, all of it. I mean, you could say what you want, but the numbers are what the numbers are. What Florida has done and what he did in terms of striking a balance for keeping businesses open and not crushing businesses and destroying people's lives like has been done in other states. All you got to do is look at that. We gave that stat the other day. In the last year, $27.3 billion in wealth. In other words, people have been moving to Florida in such droves that they brought $27.3 billion in personal wealth to the state, and the next closest I think is Texas at like 6.3 billion. I mean, people are moving here, companies are moving here because of the freedoms that Ron DeSantis is protecting here. So I know a lot of people don't like it. They don't like some of the laws. I get it, but and when you're talking about people moving here, it's an absolute avalanche. It's It's incredible. In fact, it's getting, if you're a Tampanian resident right now, you're like, okay, this is starting to stress our housing market. Rents have gone through the roof. Housing costs have gone through the roof. So it hasn't been a great thing for us in terms of that. I mean, we always want to be a place where people, we always get excited when the area is glorified. But at some point, you're like, enough is enough because our infrastructure can't really handle it. So in terms of that, it hasn't been great. But I'll be on the sides of personal liberties anytime. And I think this story is going to get, I think, a lot of clicks. It's going to be misunderstood in a lot of different ways. So we wanted to bring it to you. All right, let's move on to the Rays. And another disheartening loss last night. And the theme continues to be the same. Unearned runs. Once again, Brett Phillips last night drops a fly ball because of poor communication in the outfield, which basically leads to a 3-run homer. I thought somewhat of a curious decision by manager Cash on a 3-0 count to Kiner Falefa to just intentionally walk him and McClanahan to intentionally walk him. And then Higashioka hits a 3-run homer and it's 4-1. That was the point of the game that really changed the whole thing. And McClanahan said he wasn't even aware that he was intentionally walked until he was getting ready to turn around for the next pitch. And I just knowing McClanahan the way that we do and how competitive he is, I wonder if that got into his head. Like, what do you mean you don't think I can pitch out of a 3-0 count here? I mean, Cash is certainly, I get his feeling there. You don't want to give a hitter that's been pretty hot something to hit, but you're also telling your pitcher that you can't, get out of a 3-0 count. And then the next thing he's giving up a home run. Nah.
Yeah, it's a fine line with the trust of what you have in your pitchers. And I think Kevin Cash at the same time, I don't think he looks at, okay, Shane McClanahan's one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. He may be the best left-handed in the pit, like we said yesterday with Doug Wechter. All those great things about Shane McClanahan. I don't really think he looks at that necessarily. He or whoever is making the decisions back there, because you have to question that sometimes, I guess, is going based off what the numbers, I guess, are telling them. And I'm not saying that's wrong by anyway. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't work out. In that situation, it didn't. It just feels like at this point, though, with Shane McClanahan, not his best stuff last night by any means, but the way that you beat him is you got to hit home runs. That's clearly his Achilles heel is giving up the home run. But the reason why is because he pounds the strike zone, and you're going to live with that.
Yeah.
But in that case, Kyle Higashioka, a 3-run home run. I don't know which, again, of all the Yankees in the lineup, I wasn't counting on him to hit the 3-run home run by any means. But listen, it happens. I'm more. I think the error early on by Brett Phillips there is much more egregious because that is the theme of the Rays right now.
Yeah.
I don't recognize this team. The way they're playing in the field.
No.
And again, it's a 1-run game.
Yep.
These
are huge
the
errors.
margin of error against a team like the Yankees. And that's what's frustrating. They're not getting blown out by the Yankees.
Nope.
They're right there. But they just make these mental errors. And right now, the Yankees, they cannot do no wrong.
Yeah. But you can't help them out. You can't help them out like that.
No.
And these are not just small errors. These are egregious errors in tight games. And you just can't have it. It's 3 straight games they've made an egregious error in the outfield by guys who are really good defenders.
Yeah, and I tell you what, too, the injury bug is starting to really, and I know that this happens every year.
Yeah.
I get it. This year feels a little different to me in regards to the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Rasmussen now just went down, which, of course, he was supposed to start yesterday. Now he won't. We have no idea how long he's going to be out. He's on the 15-day for right now, or the 10-day, whatever it is. The guy that's coming up was Ralph Garza. Maybe Josh Fleming is coming up soon. I don't know. I feel like there's a difference now of the arms that are coming up when guys get injured in previous years. And a lot of that is because the farm in regards to the arms the Rays have is not as loaded as it used to be.
We've given away some pitchers in the past couple of years to get Nelly Cruz, to make other deals. And we're not as deep as we used to be.
Yeah, so that's what I think I'm a little concerned about here. And it's the same thing with the hitting. It's like the guys who are coming up, I don't know. I know the farm system, the numbers still say they're really good, but a lot of them are not really ready for big league ball, and especially the pitching because you have Calvin Falchers out there the other night or last night. Ralph Garza's back up here. I mean, there's just been these guys that I don't think are major league pitchers at all, and I think that's the difference with the Rays. So more so than other years, I'm really nervous. And now Kevin Kiermaier as well. It looks like, I mean, he hasn't officially been placed on the IL, I don't believe, but
Achilles soreness.
He said that he's been lingering, and last night it felt worse, and he feared a serious injury. So, again, it's Kevin Kiermaier. We know the injury history is lengthy with Mr. Kiermaier. So, but right now, though, they can't afford to not have him in there because I know Brett Phillips, and Brett Phillips had a bad night last night with his glove, but usually it's not like that with him. But Brett Phillips is hitting like 150 right now.
Yeah.
If that's who we have to count on to play every day with Kiermaier not in the lineup,
not good.
I'm scared.
No.
I mean, I just am. Right now, it just looks like it's a team made up of Randy Arozarena, G-Man Choi, who's on a 13-game hitting streak, and Yandy Diaz. Every time I'm watching, I feel like it's those three guys who are the ones on base, and nobody else is doing much.
Right.
And that's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. And I do sense that, and I asked Doug Wechter this question the other day. We look at how the Rays are playing and getting it done where they're 8 games over 500 now.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's still good. I think that's would still qualify them for a wild card.
Oh, they're in the unless they have a catastrophic failure here, they're going to make the playoffs.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like they're playing their C- game or C game, and they're 8 games over 500, and they got a lot of injuries. It's like, so are they going to get people back and just be so much better, or is this just going to be a year where they don't have the depth to make up for the injuries? People don't come back because there's no way you can sustain this. You can't be a team that is second in the league in unearned runs. I think they lead the league in outs on the bases.
Yes.
And their offense is just awful, and sustain this. You can't. There's no way. And so they're either going to get much, much better when they get Franco back, and hopefully Brandon Lau comes back, and hopefully some of these other guys start hitting a little bit more consistently, or they're just going to go right in a crapper, especially now that they're about to start facing the AL East every week.
And
Toronto's what, 12 over 500 now?
Yeah, they're hot.
They're starting to bang the ball. The Yankees are freaking unbeatable for the most part. Boston even starting to feel a little bit I think they're going to be better as the season goes on when they get some guys back, some pitching. So to me, this feels like we're walking a tightrope right here. And I don't know if we're going to make it to the other side.
Yeah. And I think what Eric Neander and the rest of the front office has to really be thinking is in regards to going forward, if they want to go forward again, make another run, what point do you start to kind of mix things up on the trade market? Like, can you afford to wait all the way to July 31st or whenever the trade deadline is? Can you afford to wait that long right now? Or do you start getting on the phone earlier?
That's a good question.
Because as I'm saying, I know I said as long as they don't have a catastrophic failure, they should be fine and make the playoffs because the American League has kind of already sorted itself out for the most part already.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of identify the 7 teams, and the Rays are one of them. But at the same time, is the more you pick up injuries, the more you keep scuffling. And if you're scoring less than 5 runs mostly every night, it's a lot of wear to put on the bullpen, which has been great. But at some point, it's going to break because it's happened every year with the Rays.
Yeah.
And you don't want that to happen in July or August.
Yeah.
So
look at this metric from this Man Games Lost MLB at Man's Games Lost MLB. Since June of 2021, the Rays lead the league in games won versus man games lost.
There you go.
Which is, you could look at it as one of two things. They have a great formula and great depth, or they're getting lucky. And so, and it can't hold out for long.
This is right here. The stat here against the Yankees that is the most startling is that they've played them now in 6 games, I believe. 6 games. They've given up 18 total runs. That's an average of 3 a game, by the way.
Yeah.
And the Rays are 2-4 in that. And how about 7 of those are unearned?
That's crazy.
7 of those are unearned.
Yeah.
So when I tell you that when the Rays have played the Yankees, honestly, a lot better than everybody in the league, the numbers show that. They're right there.
And
but
the worst part
that's
about
the
it is,
difference.
like, we banged on them all year for their first baseman. Defensive first base has been awful.
It's the outfield.
But it's the good outfielders. Margot, Phillips, Kiermaier. These are gold.
How many errors has Taylor Walls made this year? It's short, and he's supposed to be Mr. Generational.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes he flashes it, but
yeah.
And when he's not giving anything at the plate and he's not playing his great defense, I'm sorry, he's not a major league player right now.
No.
In the story.
And unfortunately, as much as we love Brett Phillips, he just if you're going through an 0 for 31 slump, you can't be dropping fly balls in the outfield.
And he's done this. This is twice now he's gone through one of these big extended slumps this year. And this is why it's so. I don't want to deal on emotion because everybody loves Brett Phillips. He's great for the clubhouse. He's great for the fan base. He's in every commercial. I'd argue he's the most popular player the Rays have in league circles.
No question.
But again, when it comes to getting Josh Lowe back up here, giving Aranda a shot, maybe going out and getting another big bat in the outfield, at some point, Brett Phillips, I don't know how he can stay on the big league roster.
Yeah.
And that's a brutal.
Nobody wants to hear
reality.
that.
Nobody wants to hear it.
No.
I love Brett Phillips. I would love it. But you have to just understand. He's not he cannot continue to be like this if he's going to have to play, especially if Kiermaier goes on the IL today. Let's keep an eye out for that. Brett Phillips is going to have to play nearly every day then.
Yeah.
And you can't afford to be 0 for 4, 0 for 3 every single day. You just can't.
Yeah. So you got to ask when is Josh Lowe coming back? Aranda's hit his 10th home run last night at AAA.
Yeah.
This team needs offense, and if your defense sucks, I don't care how. I know Austin Meadows ain't ripping it up, but
I don't even know if he has a home run yet.
He still doesn't have a home run. Well, but he always say you go to a different place. You play. I know what he did as a member of the Rays because they put him in great positions to be successful. And that's you take 106 RBIs out of your lineup. Again, if he goes to another place, they may be batting him in a different way, using him in a different way. People are pitching around him. You don't know what it is. I know this. When he was with the Rays, he may have been a little bit of a defensive liability, but the dude knocked in runs. He knocked in 106 runs, and I don't care. I'm care.
It's so weird though. Like literally just a zero piece in the home run column.
Yeah, but we don't know how many at bats he's getting if he's batting against
128.
If he's batting against lefties every night. Like I don't know. All I know is what he did when he was here, and so when he goes someplace else, I don't even look at that. As a member of the Rays, he was an RBI machine, and you just traded him away for a minor leaguer.
Yeah, and I will get. Again, he's hitting under 200, so how great is it? But you've seen the flashes, right? You see the things that why the Rays desired Isaac Paredes. But again, I'll go back to the argument. I know I sound like a broken record. If you're trying to win a World Series, you're not going to do it by putting your trust in 3 or 4 guys who are young, have to get adjusted,
right? And
they're going to go through these growing pains.
And you never know if they're going to be major leaguers.
Yeah, and what's happening?
I mean, like look at Josh Lowe is a perfect example. It's clear at the major league level, major league velocity, consistent gives him an issue.
Yeah.
He looked overmatched. So you can look at a guy at AAA, you can look at a guy. That's why I say when there are other places and other, even if it's Pirates or whatever, it's different situations. They may be putting him in different situations or facing different people. How does he do as a Ray? That's what matters. With our analytics team, how we do things, how does he do? Austin Meadows thrived here. He thrived. And we don't see the same production from Isaac Paredes. We don't. And I don't expect it. We did not see the same production from Josh Lowe. And I don't expect it. So why did you do it? Why did you do it? Just for money? Doesn't seem like it, but why? To make and these are calculated guesses. You think Josh Lowe is going to be able to handle it, but he's not been able to. Bad decision. Bad decision, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This lineup, especially it's awful. It's awful.
And the more we talk about it, I can't believe they're 8 games over 500.
I can't either.
I can't believe it. I really can't. And they've shown flashes where it looks like they're going to get on a run, and then they get really cold right away. And now they go into this sort of funk. And it shouldn't be like this though. Oh my.
Rory McIlroy.
You don't see that often.
He had an awful lot. And this is something that happens at the country club. The country club, let's just say it has a bit of a British Open lack of attention to rough and clean edges around the bunker. He got caught up where the ball just stopped coming down into the bunker into this looked like 3 feet high weeds. and he's in the bunker. The ball's at his, probably at his waist. So he's swinging it like a baseball bat, and he barely chunks it out into a bunker in front and gets another crappy lie. And then he takes about 7 swings in the bunker, like you and I have done many times when you get so frustrated.
You don't see that often. I don't even know where I was going with my point now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I got sidetracked. I was like, whoa.
You were trying to make an excuse for this awful offense, and you can't. It's just awful, and it's good. And I don't see how they're getting out of it.
And why can't people just call it out? Like I'm trying to remain optimistic. Trust me, I'm trying to remain optimistic. I'm understanding the fact that the Rays have not played great baseball for stretches of the season, and they're 8 games over 500, and they're in a playoff spot. But can we just be honest with ourselves when they're not playing good baseball?
Well, look.
Why is it whenever you call out? This is my problem, though. Why is it when you call out this team for anything they do wrong, you get everybody that jumps on you and says, you don't know baseball?
Don't you know that they're WRC?
Like, am I
like last year when we were going into the playoffs and for like early September, it may be late August. It was pretty damn apparent that the Rays were going to start 3 rookie starting pitchers in the playoffs, and they were winning in regular season. They were good, and we were what? We're like, that ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work. You can't go into the playoffs with 3 starting pitchers, all rookies. I don't care how good they're pitching now. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And what happened? They're out in the first round, and their starting pitchers were not good.
Yeah,
they weren't good.
And I mean, maybe there's sometimes...
so you can be winning games, but you got to look a little deeper into what's going on.
That's my thing. Everybody's looking at it based on the scope of right now, and I'm telling you, like I said before the season, I've been consistent on it. I want my bar to win a World Series.
Yes,
I have already seen this team get to a World Series. I've seen this team win 100 regular season games. In my mind, there's another level to get to, and I'm telling everybody they're not meeting that level. And if you compare this team to other teams in this league, I don't see how it's going to work out in the playoffs. And yes, I'm saying that, telling you right now that the Rays have played the Yankees extremely well. I give them credit for that. But they're not winning the game.
Exactly.
And that's what counts the most. So the regular season it does not matter to me. I want to know what they're going to do in the playoffs. Sorry, that's my bar.
Yeah.
That's my bar, because I've seen this team keep going up and up and up for 4 years. And right now I feel like they've taken a little bit of a step down. I'm looking at the roster. I understand it's hurt. I get it. But I'm looking at the roster, comparing it to others. And right now it does not match up. And I think there needs to be moves done.
I agree 100%.
And why 100%. Is that so hard for people just to admit?
And I think, and I also will criticize some of the moves that they've made. Not good. All right, we'll take our final break. We'll come back on the other side, and we'll hear from some of the Lightning players as we kind of recount and get back to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. May have time to hear from some of the Rays players after last night's, we'll call it debacle, disappointment against the Yankees. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem.
encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. It's Father's Day coming up this weekend. Hopefully, I'll be seeing at least one of my children. My son will be up in Chicago. My daughter will be home. I'll be seeing her. And maybe she'll go to the Gold and Diamond Source and give me something nice. I would love that. They've got a great selection of watches, rings, bracelets, necklaces, anything that your dad may want. Earrings, too, as well. Not a big earring guy, but a lot of guys are. They've got beautiful selection there. So check it out. And also, if you're looking for an engagement ring, you know there is no better place to go. And, folks, it matters that you go to some place that is reputable because, let's be honest, we don't know if you're getting what you're paying for, right? What do you know about the clarity of a diamond, right? There's a lot of good fakes out there. You don't know. So you got to go shopping with someone you trust, someone who's been here for decades, someone who's involved in the community. And if you're not happy with their purchase, trust me, they will make it right because they're not going anywhere. That's the Gold Diamond Source. And Billy and Steve Weintraub have been doing incredible things in our community for a long, long time. They employ their family, your neighbors, local companies. So like we say, always keep it local here. Keep it with the local companies, and Gold and Diamond Source is one of the best. So check them out, 3800 Ulmerton Road, about 15 minutes from downtown Tampa. Or you can always find them online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, the Lightning lose game one, 4-3 in overtime to the Colorado Avalanche. Actually, a way better result than their first game against Toronto, first game against the Rangers. And, of course, they came back and won both of those series. We talked about this earlier in the show. I did not see anything last night that makes me feel like the Avalanche are a tremendously more talented or faster team. I thought the Lightning really found their game in the second period. And in the end, I think better goaltending, better coaching, experience will win in the end. I'm not too concerned. In fact, I'm a little encouraged. I was afraid that I would turn on the TV and just see the Avalanche just completely outskating the Lightning. I saw that early on, but not for the entire game.
And I will repeat the stat again. 18-1 after losing a game in the playoffs.
That's right.
I will repeat it again. 18-1 after losing a game in the playoffs. So
that's just luck. Yeah.
The adjustments will be made. I can argue they were made in the game at one point already by John Cooper and such.
Yeah.
And they're going to be better. Listen, Braden Point had not played in 31 days. He's going to be a lot better in that game. And I thought even as he got to the third period, he was a little bit more noticeable out there. Stamkos a little quiet last night. A little quiet. Kucherov, a little quiet outside of the one fantastic play. When your stars are quiet, you end up losing games.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard to figure out.
No.
But Darcy Kemper, I thought was gettable last night. I thought he was very gettable, and the Lightning kind of let him off the hook a little bit.
Yeah, only 60 shot attempts to the Avs 79. Only 23 shots were put on net, and of those 23 shots, I would probably say 7 were dangerous. 7 to 8, 7 to 10. I mean, it just they did not get the volume, and they did not get as good a look as I would hope. Then, and 2 of their 3 power plays were borderline awful. They're 0 for 9 on their last 9 in the power play, 0 for 3 last night. They got to be better there.
Yeah, and
all those places.
And as John Cooper said after the game, the first 15 minutes in particular, it's like the Lightning. They kind of just dip their toes in the water.
Yeah, that's such a great explanation.
He always has a great way to put things, right? And that is a great one. They just kind of seemed a little timid to really do anything, and they sat back too much. When you sit back in the playoffs in a Stanley Cup final against that team, they're going to get you.
Coop has such a great way of answering questions, and it usually starts with this. Like the questioner will be going on and on. He's like, I know what your question is, so I'm going to stop you right here. And he goes, well, we and then he gets in there. But it's just, I love, because he's thinking, he's being thoughtful. And he's, well, we kind of just dipped our toe into the water. And then he's off. So, all right. So let's hear from, we got a little bit Cooper left that we could play, I know, but also,
we have some Killorn here that will
Alex Killorn
that we'll start with
from Harvard. So we all know.
You hear that on every broadcast,
of course,
right?
You have to say that. If someone's from Harvard, you have to say that.
Of course, I hear you.
It's the law.
Maybe we're just trying to get a feel for them. It's got to be the other way around. We got to come out and set the tone. We knew they were going to have a good start. We just weren't as ready, I think, as we would like to be. Yeah, they came out pretty strong. I think, we haven't seen them in a little while, so it was nice to kind of get a feel. They have some incredible players that do a lot of good for them out on the ice. So, but I think now we understand kind of exactly what they are. I don't really remember exactly what was said, but along the lines of let's stop dipping our toe in the water and let's kind of try to take this game over. I think we had some good zone time in that period. Cooch obviously makes a great play to kind of get us back into the game, and then we had some good shifts. But the third period to start wasn't as good as we would have liked, and it wasn't as good as our second period. Tonight was more so what they were kind of forcing you to do, or you guys maybe rushing the passes and kind of fixing the ball? Yeah, I'd have to look at them, but I think there was probably more turnovers than we're used to, especially playing a team with as much talent as they have. You never want to give them those opportunities. I think so. I mean, being down 3-1, coming back, getting yourself in the game, it's definitely a confidence boost. But we realize we got to play a lot better if we're going to beat them. So yeah.
You showed you can turn it on offensively. They did as well. We knew from your past experiences you guys can clamp it down when you need to. They did this game as well. Was it a bit like looking in the mirror?
Yeah, I think it just for us, it's got to be more of a 60-minute effort. They're going to have their flurries where they're going to be playing really well, where their offensive players are going to be dynamic, but it's about not letting that lead into a couple shifts. It's just one shift or one opportunity, and we have to stop it there.
Alex Killorn addressing the media after the 4-3 OT loss.
The Rangers series, and probably this one went a little bit better in game one versus those two series.
Yeah, I think that's the great part about our group is there's not many situations we haven't been in. Whether you talk about the past, 3 years.
Yeah, that's the thing about this group. If any Lightning fan, and I said this, after the loss to the Rangers in Toronto, if you're jumping off the bandwagon, you're not a fan. And you're really not paying attention. You're just not paying attention. I know emotionally it sucks when your team loses in overtime or gets blasted 5-0 by Toronto or 6-2 by Rangers, and you're dealing with the fans on Twitter and blah 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 blah. It's just like do not panic. I mean, if we've learned anything from this team, it's that they figure this stuff out. And at some point, it will come to an end. And it might be against the Avs. I'm not saying that that's not a possibility here. Of course it is. But until I see somebody do it, I'm not going to panic.
There were people yesterday on Twitter that were trying to say that Victor Hedman was looking like the one we saw last year, kind of, where he was like clearly injured. And that was like they were wondering if there's something going on with him. I'm like, just because he had one little off game?
Yeah,
I mean, has Victor Hedman had many off games this postseason?
No, and I wouldn't even call that an off. I mean, he made a couple of, one was a bad bounce and then maybe one mistake there. I mean, sometimes we act like these other guys don't get paid. I mean, the Avalanche had, 119 points? I mean, they won 54 games. They played They're 14 and I think or 12-2 but now 13-2 in the playoffs. It's a great freaking team. And you're not going to impose your will on every freaking team every single game. In that situation, at altitude, your first time up there in a while, their first time in a Stanley Cup final, the place is going bananas. I mean, there was a lot working against the Lightning last night, and they still went to overtime with these guys.
Yeah, they almost stole the game.
If you're not encouraged by that, you're not paying attention.
Yeah, but like I told you in the opening, you have to be mindful. I don't think Colorado played anywhere near their best either. I truly believe that. I've watched a lot of Colorado hockey this postseason.
Yeah, I mean, McKinnon didn't do anything special last night like he normally does.
They have another gear to them. Don't get it twisted. They have another gear. The Lightning have, I think, probably multiple gears to get to based on what we saw last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of the difference. They are a step behind still Colorado. That's kind of my takeaway from yesterday. In speed,
yeah,
and maybe in execution. But again, I thought the Lightning made the necessary adjustments mid-game to kind of turn the tide a little bit more and play well. I thought it stretches in the second period and in the third. And I thought in overtime, if that went on, I thought the Lightning had them where they wanted them.
If this game told me anything, it's that it's going 6 or 7 games like I thought it would.
I mean, if he told me anything, it's going to be entertaining hockey.
Yes,
I think that's the other thing. I mean, I think that's the great thing. I love the just taking it further, the growth of the game. And they've been hyping this one up a lot, and it's cool to see that. And I think the ratings are going to be through the roof for this. I think they are.
Yeah,
especially with ABC last night.
I'd say, I mean, you turn it on, and it's just from pure television and excitement and adrenaline. I mean, and they go such long stretches of just playing hockey. And it's not, you don't feel like there's a commercial every 5 minutes and long commercial breaks. It just, I was trying to do a couple of things while watching the game last night. I found myself, I couldn't get anything done because it was just, you couldn't take your freaking eyes off the TV for 1 second. It was just so good. I mean, I compare it to an NBA game, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And then you flip over to the Rays, and it's like, even though it's the Yankees and the Rays, that's usually a really, really compelling game. It felt like I was watching all my children. I was like, snooze fest. It's all awful.
I know. I'm like, I hope my love for baseball isn't being killed right now because of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm watching when I can. I've been in that mode. I'll watch when I can. Last night, though, I told you I was going to have it on my laptop, and I did. And I saw enough to get what I needed to get out of it. But playoff hockey still is it's a different animal, in my opinion. And I think the NHL, Gary Bettman has to be ecstatic with what he saw on the ice yesterday. At least the product. And I think it can get even better, though. I think it can get even better.
Yeah. I'm looking. I just can't wait. And Amalie Arena is just going to be going bonkers Monday and Wednesday. Although I was very, because fan interest sometimes is if you can look at a fan meter as far as interest of how the fan base is feeling, go to Ticketmaster and see what the prices are for Monday and Wednesday. And the prices have dropped considerably. And that's, I mean, I know the Avalanche haven't been there in forever. But they're paying $1,000 to $800-900 average to sit upstairs, and $2,000 to $3,000 to sit downstairs in the Lightning. And it's good to know our value. We still have value in our hockey tickets when it comes to that. But fans, please don't get it twisted. This is going 6-7 games. Get your tickets now because you're going to be pissed off because you're going to be locked out at higher prices later on down the line.
Hey, that's why I asked Dan about the whole 4 sections thing.
Yeah.
That game was the first game this playoffs to not be full capacity in the stands. And that was because they had 4 sections taped off for media. And a lot of Avalanche fans were like literally up in arms at it.
Yeah.
Because they just took a good amount of tickets away.
Yeah. Because they actually take for every row of media, they take up 2 rows because they probably had the desks up on top of the seats. Yeah. So it depletes the inventory, which makes the prices go up higher.
Yeah.
Supply and demand. So I can understand why they're pissed off at that. But it is what it is. All right. Anything else we need to get to today that we haven't touched on? By the way, some guy by the name of Taryn is leading the Open along with David Lingworth at 3 under, Morikawa's at 2, McIlroy's at 2 under par.
Taryn.
I have no idea who that is.
Do this guy justice real quick.
And
let me get his first name here.
I follow golf and I have no idea who that is.
Taryn.
Tarren. Good luck.
Hold on. Let me get it. Callum Tarrant.
Oh, him.
Oh,
Did you see this? WWE probes $3 million hush deal by McMahon.
I was going to tell you about that, but you usually don't like my WWE.
No, I want to hear about this.
He allegedly has given a former employee $3 million in settlement money to cover up for an alleged affair that he had with this woman.
Oh, shocking development.
Which, I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. If that comes out of WWE circles, I can only imagine the things that would come out. Other than that, I can only imagine, because they like to keep everything very tight to the chest. They don't want any bad pub. That's interesting, though.
It shocks me that a man like that would be dipping in the company ink. And
I don't know.
That's shocking development.
I'm just going to point it out. His daughter just got out of the company a little bit, too, right before this. So,
what?
Read the tea leaves. Read the tea leaves.
Whoa. Well, maybe that'll be written into the script to come. Who knows? All right. Thanks to Dan Lucas, who joined us from Denver to chat about the Lightning. Don't worry, Lightning fans. Everything's okay. Rays fans, if I were you, I would be the one panicking. No doubt about it. Rays and Yankees again tonight, 7:05. Hopefully they can get one tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. We'll see you then.